Okay, so today we're going to do a walkthrough of my GREYSKULL, the Johnny Hazell variant of the fantastic GREYSKULL LP program. So I'm really looking forward to doing this. It's one of my favorite novice, sort of late, early stage intermediate programs that I have on my website or that I've ever reviewed. But there was some things in the original one which I didn't like. So it inspired me to create my own variant of it instead of the Phrak variant or the original Johnny Schaefer program. So let's have a look at my variation. Now this, I believe it's a very good variation. Obviously I'm going to say that. So let's walk through every step on how to use this program properly. And if you like it, then you can go to my website and you can just buy it for a small fee. Very small fee. £1.50 in British sterling, and I hope it will. I'm positive it will be worth it. So let's check it out. First thing you must do is enter your 1 rep maxes for your main lifts. Now your main lift is the squat, that's the bench press and the deadlift. Now it could be sumo, it could be conventional, whatever your competition deadlift is. And my advice with this is to be quite conservative with your 1 rep maxes. Don't choose a weight that you know you could have done if you'd done another set. So if you did 210 but you felt like you could have done 212.5 kilograms if you'd done another one, so let's just say 212.5, that doesn't count. It's what you did on that day. So once you've done that, you then need to put your 1 rep maxes in for your secondary lifts. Now this is a little bit more difficult to do. You can use a calculator, which I have below in the description, a link to a website that can calculate your 1 rep max based on maybe your 5 or 8 rep max. That could help you, but you can pretty much, if you know what your 5 rep max is for the pendlay row, you have a good estimation of what your 1 rep max would be, probably about 157.5 kilograms or 160 kilograms. And your strict overhead press, you can chase your strict overhead press 1 rep max with no problems. Weighted pull-ups, very rarely do people chase a 1 rep max for a weighted pull-up, but again, if you know what your 5 rep max is, you have an idea, an estimation of what your 1 rep max will be. So then you need to enter it in for your barbell shrugs. Now these are the front barbell shrugs, not dumbbell, not behind the neck, behind the back shrugs. These are front barbell shrugs. Enter your 10 rep max for that. So what's your 10 rep max for that? 1 set, 10 reps, the absolute maximum with good form and good technique. Once you've done that, you are then pretty much ready to go. So this is the kilogram spreadsheet. You can download and purchase the pound one or the kilogram. The difference between pound and kilograms is obviously the rounding. In kilograms, we round to 2.5, the nearest 0.5 kind of thing, and with pounds, we round to the nearest 5 or 0. That's just how it works. That makes it easier to work with this spreadsheet. Nice rounded numbers, rather than really weird numbers like 151.32 kilograms. That's not going to work. So that's the difference between them. And obviously the increments are going to be different as well for pounds and kilograms. So for kilograms, you can see it's 2.5 increments each session, 1 kilogram for the bench, 2.5 for the deadlift, and 1 kilogram for the secondary lifts, 2.5 for the barbell shrugs. Now that would be 5 pounds for the squat. We're doing this in pounds. 2.2 for the bench, 5 for the deadlift, 2.2 for secondary lifts, and 5 pounds for the barbell shrugs. Now in this program, we do not work off our 1 rep max, we work off the 90% training max. This is a Jim Wendler style training theory. It's based on the premise that not every session you are going to do, you're going to be at 100%. You're going to have off days, off week, off month. And so that way it gives you a 10% buffer for those off days, and it avoids you training to your absolute complete maximum every session, thus incurring injuries and fatigue and that sort of chronic overtraining syndrome, which is the feeling of tiredness, exhaustion, laziness, loss of appetite, insomnia, poor quality sleep, and nobody wants that. It will just ruin your life. It's not worth it. So that's what TM stands for. Isolation lifts. Now how I've got for the lying tricep extension and the EZ barbell curl 1 kilogram increments each session, or 2.2 pounds. And how you want to find out this weight for the starting week is for week 1, with this one, you want to choose a weight with about 4 reps left in reserve. So for example, let's go to the lying tricep extension. We're doing 3 sets of 10, and when we're doing the EZ barbell curls, we're doing 4 sets of 10. Now you want to choose a weight that you can do with at least 4 reps left in reserve. So if that was to be on the RP scale, that would be about 7, an RP of 7, maybe 7.5 if you feel a bit more confident, but you don't want to choose a weight that's your maximum for this. Okay, and that's how you choose your week 1 starting weight for those 2 exercises. Now you do the back extensions or reverse hypers, whatever you want to call it. On week 2, you choose 3 reps left in the reserve, so that's about an RP of 7.5. And then for the Bulgarian split squats, you do 4 reps in reserve, and for the dips, you do 4 reps in reserve. So there we go. Now MR stands for max reps, also known as many reps as possible, but I don't refer to it as that. I refer to it as MR max reps. If you're doing more than 10 reps on a max rep set, increase the increment above by my stated amount. So let's let's jump into the program before we go over this. So on this program, for the main lifts, the core lifts, as well as some secondary lifts, you do 3 sets of the prescribed reps that you're meant to do, and then 1 set of max reps, as many reps as possible. Now if you find yourself on those MR sets doing more than 10 reps, which is way too many reps for that, it should be anywhere from 5 to 8 really, then you need to start increasing the increment to try and speed things up a bit. That's how I work with it. Some people change things another way, but this is how I like to do it. So as you can see, I've made recommendations. If it's for an upper body exercise like the strict or the bench press, or maybe let's say for example weighted pull-ups, you could say pendlay row as well, then you want to change that to 2.5 or 5 pounds. If it's for a lower body exercise, so the squat and the deadlift, the big lifts, you want to change that to probably about 2 kg, so that's about 4 pounds, maybe a little bit heavier, 2.5 kilograms, maybe 5 kilograms, so 10 pounds, but really be conservative. The whole purpose of this program is smaller increments than some of the other programs we see on the market. Next up, if you don't do MR for the deadlift, just perform 3 to 4 sets of 5 reps. So some people say, well, can I do max reps for my deadlifts when I train deadlifts? No. And the reason I've got that is because I do not believe max rep training, as many reps as possible, is a good idea for deadlifting. I think it opens you up to injuring yourself, and if you perform reps with really shitty technique, you tend to grind them and make them work, but in the process injuring yourself and performing a shitty rep that shouldn't really count anyway. So I always say no max rep training with deadlifts. I think it's a bad idea to incorporate that concept into deadlift training. I think it's a terrible idea actually. If you fail to perform 5 reps on your final set, so that as many reps as possible set, or you find yourself at any point failing to do the bare minimum, which is 5 reps or maybe it's 6 reps or 10 reps, then you want to reduce that weight. Reduce the weight for the next session by 10%. So if for that session I was doing 100 kilograms, for example, for 3 sets of 5, and I did first set 3 reps, second set 4, and then the final set I did 4 reps again, then that weight is now too heavy for me. I need to reduce that. I need to take weight off the bar for the next session because I failed that. So the best way to do that is to then take 10% off. So the next session I will be doing 90 kilograms, not 100 kilograms, because I've reduced the weight by 10%. Now I'm just assuming most people know how to do that, how to calculate that, how to take, let's say, 10% off a number. But if you don't, then comment below, and what I can do is either share that how to do it, or alternatively you'll find I'll put something on my website that can coach you through how to do that. But it is pretty basic rudimentary maths there. So the pull-ups are to be formed with an underhand grip, not a pronated grip. If you can't do weighted pull-ups, then stick to bodyweight pull-ups. If you can't do bodyweight pull-ups, then your best bet is to do some assisted pull-ups, and that's using a resistance band until you get to the point where you can do bodyweight. Once you've mastered the bodyweight, then you move on to weighted. When you reach week 5, you can deload and take a week off and just do some light cardio work, some mobility training, stretching. But if you're okay, just continue, keep going on. So let's talk about the program. I split it into 2 blocks. Okay, each block is 4 weeks. Let's just say we are not taking a deload week in week 5, so it's 4 weeks. And this program alternates between an A routine and a B routine for that 8 weeks. So that's how the program works. I split it into 2 blocks just to kind of make it a bit more logical and easier to follow. So as you can see here, let's start with week 1A. Let's talk about the A routine and B routine, and then let's jump to how we're going to PR chase, because everything else is pretty much the same for all the other weeks once you know the A and B routine. So with the A routine, day 1 we bench, weighted pull-ups, squats, lying tricep extension, and ab rollout or crunches. Now you can see 2 sets of 5, 1 set of max rep for the bench, for the weighted pull-ups, for the squats, and then you've got 2 kind of bodybuilding style hypertrophy exercises that you can do. Then day 2, we've got strict overhead press for 2 sets of 5, 1 set of max reps. Deadlifts, 4 sets of 5. Remember, I said to not do max reps on this. If you want, you can take 1 set off and do 3 sets of 5, but I would start with 4 sets of 5 in the block A, and then block B you can reduce the volume and do 3 sets of 5. Okay, pendlay rows, 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. That means the minimum 6, the maximum's 8. You're going to do with that. Barbell shrugs, 3 sets of 10. We've already calculated what that starting weight is on the first sheet. Remember, right here. So we already worked that out. And then we go to Bulgarian split squats for 3 sets of 8. Now that's 3 sets of 8 each leg, not 3 sets of 4 each leg. I need a coffee, sorry. Now 15, I like to do my Bulgarian split squats with dumbbells rather than a safety squat bar or a barbell. I think most people like to do that. So I said 15 there. Now that's 15. I'm just going to input the weight of the dumbbell, not both combined together. So 30, 15, the dumbbell. So I really would advise you to just do dumbbell Bulgarian split squats. Day 3, bench, 2 sets of 5, 1 set of max rep. Squats, 2 sets of 5, 1 set of max reps. Dips, 3 sets of 8. EZ barbell curls and hyperextension, back extension, or the GHD for 3 sets of 12. Now you're going to have to put in starting weight where, like for example, I put my starting weight in there for 10 kilograms. The same with the dips, you're going to have to put in your starting weight for that. So remember, when we go back to here, how we're going to choose that, we do it with 3 to 4 reps left in reserve. That's how we work out what we're going to start off with, that weight in week 1 or week 2, whatever. So that's kind of what I would advise. Just be conservative with these isolation lifts. It's not the priority of this program. The priority of this program is more strength training geared mainly towards powerlifting, but it can be used for just general strength training. So let's talk about the B routine. Now, final thing, just remember, once you have finished the max rep set, make sure that in this column right here, in these columns, that you enter how many reps you did on that max rep set. That's for your information to track your progress. And also, if you did more than 10 reps, you need to then increase the increment for the following sessions. Alternatively, if you did too little on that, let's say you did 3 instead of the minimum of 5, then you need to reduce the weight for the next session by 10%, right? But you shouldn't really have that problem, so don't panic and worry about that. If you've got your 1 rep maxes right, if you've got this right, if you've got all this information right, you've got you're working with a training max, so it's already 10% less than your original 1 rep max, which is conservative. You shouldn't have any issues with failing to do the minimum. You're probably going to incur the issue of doing too many reps rather than the other way around. So yeah, strict press, 2 sets of 5, 1 set max, and we're going to do pendlay rows, squats, 2 sets of 5, 1 set max reps, lying tricep extension, ab roll out crunches. Okay, and as you can see, I've chosen pendlay rows, not dumbbell rows, not bent over barbell rows. These are great for strength training, the pendlay row. If you don't know how to do a pendlay row, Google it, or just go to YouTube and watch a tutorial video. I can actually include a link below to the best one. It's a much better exercise for strength training than barbell rows. Dumbbell rows are quite good when you're doing it unilateral single arm. That's good as well. But for this program, we do pendlay rows. So day 2, we're doing bench press, 2 sets of 5, 1 set max rep, deadlift, 4 sets of 5. Remember, try in the first block, this first block, try to do 4 sets of 5. We're doing weighted pull-ups, 2 sets of 6 to 8, 1 set max rep. We're going to do barbell shrugs, Bulgarian split squats. As you can see, the weight has increased from the previous by the set increments that we established right here at the beginning. So we're doing each session, the weight increases for that. So you will be noticing that. For example, let's take one for example. Let's take the strict overhead press. Last time we did 62.5, we're now doing 63.5, so we've increased that by 1 kilogram between each session. Again, if you find that too easy and you feel like you've just done 15 reps on the max rep set, then obviously you need to increase that from 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds to maybe 2.5 kilograms, so that's 5 pounds. I just thought I'd reiterate that again. So day 3, we're doing the strict overhead press, squats, 2 sets of 5, 1 set max rep, strict overhead press. We're doing 2 sets of 5, 1 set max reps. We're doing dips again, and we are going to also be doing the EZ barbell curls and the back extensions. Now, the progression for these ones that have no assigned increment, for example, the dips and the back extensions, as we can see here, the increment is down to you. You can keep the weight the same. So if you did weighted dips with a 15 kilogram plate on week 1, then you come to week 2 again. If you feel like that's enough, 15 kilogram plate, that's fine, then keep it at 15 kilograms. If you want to increase it, then you can do so by whatever you feel is right. But these are isolation exercises, really mainly for hypertrophy and just adding a little bit more volume to the training session. They're not imperative, they're not that important to the overall efficiency of this program, just to let you know that. So how you want to go about that is down to you. The same with the Bulgarian split squats. What increment you want to do, that's down to you. Really, with the Bulgarian split squats, I like to keep the weight pretty much the same, give or take 5 pounds, 2.5 kilograms, and just focus on form and technique with that exercise. That's what I like to do with that. And there we go. We follow that A-B routine for the full 8 weeks, and the increments, each session there's an increment, and then you can decide what you want to do for some of the isolation exercises, whether you want to increase or take some weight off. And there we go. That's the program. It really is quite simple, and it's meant to be simple. So as you can see with the A routine, when it comes to pressing, the focus is more towards, in the A routine, benching, and with the B routine, it's more geared towards overhead pressing. We squat 2 times both weeks A and week B, and we deadlift just once a week for both. That's because I don't believe you should be deadlifting more than once a week, especially as a novice lifter. I do believe the focus should be more towards your squatting, and you should always be squatting at least twice a week, I believe. That's my training philosophy. So when you get more advanced, you can maybe deadlift once every 14 days or something. You can even reduce your deadlifting even more. Or it's somewhere like Larry Wheels sometimes was just deadlifting like once a month or something. Whether that's bullshit, I don't know. And then you can see the difference in terms of we're focusing more on pendlay rows in the B, and we're doing some more sort of weighted pull-up stuff and in the week A. So there are some variations in the exercises we do each week, which is why there's an A and a B, which makes it less boring and mundane, like some of these 5 sets of 5 programs where you just do the same thing for like 28 weeks, where you just want to put a bullet in your head because it's so boring. Now when you get to week 8, You finish the program, you want to chase some new 1 rep maxes now. My advice, week 9, deload. Just take the week off, do some mobility training, very light, low volume, low intensity, compound exercises, main lifts, just to make sure you're just keeping up to date with it, you're not forgetting technique and form. And then week 10, you chase your 1 rep maxes, and that's when you establish your new 1 rep maxes for when you do this program for a second time. Now, after you finish that week 10 1 rep max week, where you chase your 1 rep max for the main lifts, for the secondary lifts, and for the barbell shrug 10 rep max, you then take week 11 off, and then you come back again, restart the program that following week. So week 12, you restart the program again. So that's how I look at it. Now, I will write on the website the structure of that, just if that went right over your head, don't worry, it's written on my website, so you can just check that out as well. So there we go. Now, additional exercises, as you can see here, I've got some ideas on other exercises you can do for hypertrophy. If you feel like you need to do more than what I've prescribed here in terms of normally the final 2 exercises right here, you can always add another one in. Based on what muscle group you want to train more, and these are the ideal rep schemes that I recommend you stick to. 4 sets of 12 or 3 sets of 15, that's kind of what I believe to be the best rep schemes for this, because these are isolation based exercises for hypertrophy purposes. So you want to do more volume and less intensity. By intensity I mean the weight, how much weight is on the bar or the dumbbell or the machine or the cable. So that's my advice. There we go. So that's the program. If you have any questions, do comment below on this YouTube video. Alternatively, you can add me on Instagram. You'll find my account link in the description below. You will also find the link to my website where you can get this program for just £1.50 from my website. You can download that, the link's below, and have a great time with this program. I wish you good luck. Again, if you need any help, you have any questions, anything, any issues, comment below. I will try and respond as quickly as I can. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep up to date with all my latest things, strength and power. Have a great day.